They will report that.
Does that have blood on it?
It is. I'm trying to get you guys
attention. Blood on it, you guys.
Okay.
Can I get a hashtag Twitter aid right now, please? Thank you.
That has blood on it.
It does. So they will report that.
Welcome back to another episode of Stand on Guard. I'm your host, David Krayden. We're continuing to monitor the events in British Columbia and the disposal of the ostriches. And we've got more to show you and to talk about when we come back in mere moments. Thank you for watching.
The Prime Minister lied and his minions continue to lie.
Your home is your castle. We're calling on the government to introduce and immediately pass the Stand on Guard law.
But we also need to resolve to resist.
Okay. We'll do it live. Okay. No. We'll do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. So if you were following yesterday's story, we know that these ostriches, I hate to say carcasses, but that's what's remaining. The RCMP were cleaning up the site. We saw that shocking video footage yesterday of the RCMP literally cleaning up the site like farm laborers that they seem to be best at right now. That, of course, and covering up for the CFIA, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. And we know that the CFIA has moved these bodies off the site. There are literally dozens, perhaps hundreds of people out there monitoring this on social media, in some cases physically following the trucks, trying to do so, even though some of these trucks have had RCMP escorts. Some of them have been decoys to bring people off the scent. It's incredible. It's just incredible. But, once people realize this has been a charade from day one, this has been theater. These birds were not sick. These birds were healthy. They had developed herd immunity. Everything Katie said about these birds was 100% accurate. CFIA never wanted to test these birds. They never even wanted to count these birds. Why? Because they were up to no good from the minute they invaded and occupied this farm on September 22nd. Now, before I forget, I want to call out some of the folks. Joe Warmington, thank you for your excellent column on this front page of the Toronto Sun on the weekend. Excellent, excellent, excellent. You have been a fighter along the way for this. You have never ceased to say this was evil. And when I see that, I say, there's some hope for mainstream media, because Toronto Sun, Ottawa Sun, Calgary Sun, it's still a mainstream media publication, but it will not cower and be cowed by the liberal regime. So I think that is excellent. And so, I wanted to show you that. It's an excellent article here. Also, which is on Substack by Dr. Byram Briel. Fantastic article. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency's bloodlust, worshipping policies while ignoring science. That's exactly what it was all about. And excellent article as well from Nicholas Hulsher, who was on the show last week. Canada orders mass culling of 400 research ostriches over bird flu, refuses to test surviving birds for natural immunity. On the record, that's the kind of writing we needed a lot more of. And I think that is an excellent example of what's going on here. Now, I'm going to keep fighting for this, because if anyone's wondering why are we covering this story, because the so-called culling is over, the massacre, the slaughter, the killing is over. Well, I had many conversations with Katie throughout this whole process, and she said, no matter how this goes, how this turns out, she wants to devote her time and energy to helping farmers who are facing a similar predicament, and to saving farms from the lethal arm of the CFIA. She wants to do everything possible to ensure this doesn't happen again. Maybe it will happen again, but maybe it won't happen as often because Canadians are waking up to the corruption in this Carney government. They're realizing exactly what's been going on here. And you know what? Whistleblowers are coming forth. And yeah, I want to show this to you. This is incredible stuff here. You know, I know you can't read. I'm going to read the first paragraph of this for you because this is what's going on. And I'm getting in touch with a whistleblower today or tomorrow who has reached out. And, you know, here's what people are saying. I have stayed pretty quiet on the story of the ostriches and the CIA for a few reasons. Firstly, this story brings back some memories that I had tried to block from my memory since 1989, or about 25 years ago. My family went through basically the same thing with the CFIA in March of that year. So I read this whole story. It's been sent to me by various people, but this is another example of CFIA unnecessarily culling, in this case, a herd of cattle. And of course, this is not over in terms of what the CFIA wants to do. And I think it's very imperative that we highlight what's going on here. I have another one here. I'm sorry, I'm calling these up because I couldn't get everything into the... All right. Yeah. Yeah, this is quite something. And that's again, you know, this is from a local MLA who this individual reached out to. I think this is very, very important that we highlight this. And I got another one here. There. So this whistleblowers are coming forth because even the CFIA, even within the CFIA, there are people who are still human, who still want to highlight what's going on here. And I think this is a good reason to remember that this is not over. We're going to keep fighting this, and we're going to win because truth will win. I'm just going to read this one to you here. You won't be able to see it either. This is from a whistleblower, and this is who I'm hoping to get in contact with today. This is, good afternoon, Sean. It's taken me some time to write this message as I am deeply disturbed by what has taken place during the recent ostrich cull. With over 25 years of experience in the slaughterhouse industry and extensive involvement with the CFIA, I must be cautious in how I express my views. However, in all my years in this field and through visits to numerous facilities worldwide, I have never witnessed anything as inhumane or distressing as what occurred in this incident. The claim that a veterinarian was present raises serious questions. The role of an on-site veterinarian is to ensure that animals are slaughtered correctly and with minimal stress, a standard clearly not met in this case. If a veterinarian was indeed present, it would appear their involvement was limited to confirming death rather than overseeing humane slaughter practices. Now, we have Katie in a clip with Rebel News later where she doesn't believe there was a veterinarian present. Now, of course, how do you prove that? Because they were not allowed ever to have access to see their own animals. This was never an option for the family at Universal Ostrich Farms. They were excluded. They were told they couldn't cross that perimeter. They couldn't count the animals. They weren't even allowed an independent observer to count. So we don't really know how many animals, how many ostriches were actually killed. They have not told us. CFI refuses to tell us. They have carted them out in a most incompetent manner where ostrich blood and debris is literally flowing through these bins and into the trucks all over the road. They have overstuffed the containers in a very unsafe way. It's like these people haven't got the basic conception of how to do anything in a safe manner. So where do we think the ostrich parts are? Well, we think they're in Surrey at 3613 190 Street. That's a super safe location. And this is what we believe has been going on here. Yeah, that's the location right there. We have a map of it. Now, interestingly, it's near the water. What did I say yesterday? It's a theory, okay? I can't prove it. I think we need to examine it further, but I believe these ostriches ultimately are going to end up in a shipping container on a ship, and they're going to be dumped in the water. Now, can the government do that? Well, you bet it can. Yes, it can do that. And all right, I'm trying to find this here. And these people were out literally tracking this information down. Hello, everyone. I'm sure many of you have heard about the ostriches in BC that were recently culled due to bird flu and were considered a health risk to the public. Well, I just wanted you to know that all 314 of those birds are in Surrey at the Super Safe at 3613-190th Street in their trucks being stored. That is very concerning. Looking for recommendations. I'm losing my hair due to stress and I'm considering buying a Krayden. All right, that's nothing to do with it, but yeah. And so that's where we are with this. And this is from the South Surrey White Rock Community Group, which has done a bang-up job locating them. Here we are again. That's the location. And here's some of the correspondence going on, some of the conversation going on. Rose Gardner Hopkins, hey, just curious about how many blue garbage bins have left the farm after they had been suspected on pre-killing the ostriches, because there were questions about why there were so many bins at the farm coming and going. And I'm just wondering if they still have that same amount of garbage. Good question. I think they said 5 of the big blue bins after the unfortunate massacre. There were about 6 smaller bins leaving almost every day there before when they said they weren't killing ostriches, but we obviously know they were. We strongly suspect they were because of the activities going on. These bins have the beautiful ostriches in them now, but before the massacre took place, the CFI had the blue bins coming and going. Yes, so this is what has been going on. And it's absolutely, this has been allowed to continue this far. You know, and I'll say that. Here's the picture of the truck. Now, how do they know? You see that area that's circled in the red there? That is the same truck that was identified at Universal Ostrich Farms, because the Super Safe logo had apparently been taped over. It had been covered up, so it couldn't be identified. But of course, that's a dead giveaway, isn't it? How many trucks have got the logo covered up like that? So clearly there has been something going on here with, once again, clandestine operations. How much of this was going on throughout the 5 or 6 weeks of the occupation of this farm? We have never received a single answer from the CFIA. And I sent them 13 questions the day before the killing, the slaughter started. You know what I received back? I'll tell you what I received back. The news release the following day saying that they were going ahead with the culling. Not a single answer. And people have asked me at the media outlets that I submit my writing to, like such as Blaze Media in the post-millennium, and they said, did you not get any response from the CFIA about this? And I said, yeah, they recycled their news release and refused to answer any more questions. They have been like this throughout the entire procedure. They will not answer questions. You cannot get a hold of a FLAC, which of course is parlance for the official spokesperson for the government agency. They will not talk to reporters, especially reporters who are not sympathetic to what they have been doing. So they send you recycled material, and they will not answer questions. So that is categorically what has happened with this. And, it's absolutely beyond reason. But this has been a cover-up since day one. What we need to do now is to ensure the cover-up doesn't continue, because that's exactly what they want us to do, is lay down, roll over, and say, okay, you won. But we know, for instance, that they're after other groups. And here, I want to share this with you here, because this is absolutely incredible what's going on here. And because there's just so much going on concurrently right now in terms of what these people are up to and what they think they can get away with, that I find it incredible. Here, I wanted to share this with you. We've been getting a lot of great information from BC Barracuda. And this, of course, is where they're headed next. Critter Aid. And thank you for BC Barracuda, or BC Barbie, for the hard work you've done on this file. You have continued to share information with me throughout this entire operation. And you sent this last night. I want to read this because this is potentially where they're headed next. Over the past few days, our sanctuary family has been facing one of the most heartbreaking experiences in our history. We are navigating a situation that has required immediate action, coordination with veterinary professionals, federal CFIA regulatory authorities, interior health, and epidemiology divisions, as we had a positive case of H5N1 at our sanctuary. Now, what do you think is going to happen next? Is the CFIA going to follow the rules that they claim they're following? And those rules from the World Organization for Animal Health, WOA, say quarantine. The stamping out policy is no longer a part of their routine, their standard operating procedures. They claim it is. It's a lie. So, what is going to happen here? And I think, we need answers to these questions, because we cannot allow this to continue. It's eroding basic property rights. It's a war on agriculture. It is a war on farmers, especially those in Western Canada. Tens of millions of chickens have been killed by the CFIA. And they're not going to stop there. So they are looking for other locations where they can do this dirty work, and they don't care if it puts farmers out of business. We don't know yet if there's going to be any restitution for Universal Ostrich Farms. It certainly won't be what the ostriches were worth. But because, and I have been told this on several occasions, but we have no comment at all. When I asked the CFIA about this the other day, no comment, no answer. Will the farm receive fair compensation for the ostriches that they killed? No answer. There's been some indication along the way that they will not receive fair compensation or any compensation because they chose to fight the CFIA in court. And remember the timeline here. The CFIA gave them an exemption for what they call depopulation based on the unique genetic basis of the ostriches. That was on January 2nd of this year. 8 days later, the CFIA revoked that exemption without any clarification, without any explanation. Why? I think it was because the government decided to buy 500,000 H5N1 vaccines from SKG. And I think that's exactly why they decided to do that. Now let's have a look at more of this footage from these warriors who are out there fighting for truth and fighting for justice, not just for this ostrich farm, which has been denied truth and justice, but for other farmers who potentially could be in the same situation.
They will report that.
Does
That's
that
all.
have fucking blood on it?
It is. I'm trying to get you
That
guys
has fucking
attention.
blood on it, you guys.
Hashtag Twitter aid right now, please. Thank you.
That has fucking blood on it.
It does. So they will report that. So, okay.
They saw me there this morning. They know. Tell them it was the girl with the gray coat.
Girl with a gray coat. I'm on her account, so I can be lying.
You could always mention Nate. Just saying.
Oh, I
recognize that voice. Who is that?
I was the girl this morning.
I'm having a bit of a moment. I see the bins. Ooh, you need to speak. I see the bins.
Can you take off?
Yeah.
Make that truck famous.
Oh, I'm shaking.
Good job, Don.
If we only could expand it.
There they are. God damn it. Just
Good job, Don.
I'm sorry, I did try and zoom in on your picture.
Where the other two trucks are.
Down for a minute to zoom in and take some camera photos. That would be great.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
One of those other boys and Melissa have phones. They can take information.
No, my phone hasn't been working for a long time. I've done what I
Told me.
Let me just make sure my lenses are
I've
clean.
got pictures. I got videos. I got all that stuff. I've done lives.
Just breathe, yeah.
Good job, you guys.
I did not expect that.
And we zeroed in on it. We've got it. It's not going anywhere.
No. Okay, I'm gonna.
And on the way here, on
We need a free box, Keeps.
That was really important information that guy was about to say.
Yeah, okay, I'll drop down. Thank you very much, guys.
just before here,
and thank you very much for having me.
there is a house.
Thank you.
And that house has two cop cars sitting in front of it. The guy that owns this place only lives a short distance from here, so I believe that's his house. I want somebody to go and research who owns that house. It's a big, nice, rich house, and it's about, I don't know, 2-4 blocks from here.
I'm on it.
Thank you. It's on, what is that, 190th or 192nd? 32nd? What's the one?
You should be able to just look on land titles.
What's the one that runs this way?
36 or 32.
32. Yeah, it'd be on 32nd. It's just before here, and there's two cops sitting outside, sitting at the end of the driveway. It's a very ritzy house.
192 and 32.
It's on 32nd. I don't know. It's two,
Okay.
maybe 3 blocks.
Yeah,
west
one way.
of here.
But is it close to 192?
Can any of you check the numbers on the trucks? Because we do have.
Just give me a
numbers
minute to
of
look
the
on my
trucks.
phone, and I'll tell you the address of the house.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna drop down for a minute. You won't be able to hear him. I'm gonna take some video, okay?
Okay, can you try to get the numbers on the trucks?
Yes, and then I'm gonna go try and get a different position, okay?
Okay, because
Just,
I
I'm gonna-
have numbers of one of the trucks. That's all.
Okay, I'm gonna drop down for a second, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Be safe.
Love you. So yeah, guys.
Offered to drop down. I've offered to drop down. Nate, for some reason, wants me up here. I love you, Nate.
Well, you're very calm, and I think we need that right now.
No, I think it's important. I don't understand. Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, you need to be up here. You're a mother.
Stop.
Thank you, and you as well, Amanda. You as well, Margot. You as well, Motor Girl.
But we're all. That's
Up right now.
we
If I
have
had
to
the
be really.
capability, I don't know how to unlock that shit.
We had the box for her.
Oh, Moto Girl back in the bake. Perfect.
Hey guys, I did just try and I tried to email Slip the videos and photo I just took, but the attachments are too large. We may have to use WhatsApp.
Okay.
Maybe that's a good thing.
So,
I have WhatsApp, but I just have to. I guess just send my number.
Beautifully. Is there something in Discord maybe that we could add?
No, they don't let you send big files in there either, but WhatsApp lets you send large files.
Okay, you know tech better than me. Thank you. You do. I love you
I
for that.
also have WhatsApp, but is that only by phone number or by name?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm old as fuck. I don't know this shit.
Moto Girl, Moto Girl or Dawn, whichever one you want to go by. I just inboxed you my phone number. You can find me. I am on WhatsApp.
Okay. Let me figure this out here.
The wall in behind there.
Yeah, I want to go scale the wall. I'm going to try and check the inbox of Moto Girl.
You'll have to drop down and then come back up after.
Incredible work being done there. These people are not getting any restitution for this, any pay. This is just because they're concerned about the farm and about farmers and about your rights as a property owner, your rights as a Canadian. Remember, we used to have such a thing called rights in this country? Well, not anymore. And I encourage all of you who are watching this, share this as much as possible, because the evidence is out there. You know, remember X-Files? The truth is out there. The truth is right here. We are not going to let them get away with this, because they have conducted what I believe will be shown to be a completely unnecessary and potentially illegal killing of hundreds of ostriches. And yes, we don't even know how many, because they won't say. But we have people saying, counting 316. That's possible. That's possible. Anything is possible with these people, because we are living in a police state. We saw the RCMP descend to new levels of tyranny when they threatened a reporter with some kind of charge, potentially, because he was allegedly doxing. And of course he wasn't. And I sent my best wishes to Chris Dacey last night. We were supposed to chat, and I guess he got caught up in something else. I'm going to call again today, because what he said to that RCMP officer was brilliant, priceless. I couldn't do it any better. I don't think he could have done it any better. Just absolutely put that cop in his place for making false accusations, trying to intimidate by suggesting maybe we'll charge you for this. For what? Reporting the news? RCMP is off the rails too. And Pierre Poilievre, talk about Pierre Poilievre more in a second here. Pierre Poilievre talked about the RCMP leadership being corrupt. Oh my God, you can't say that. Then he sort of backed away and said, I don't mean the RCMP leadership right now. I meant the ones under Trudeau. Yeah. It's just as bad today. And while Pierre Poilievre was backtracking on this, the events at Edgewood, BC continued to unfold, and we just saw how bad the RCMP is. Forget about those drug dealers. Forget about those drugs coming in at the Port of Vancouver. We'd rather go to a farm in Edgewood, BC and harass and intimidate the farm owners. It's sad. I don't know what else to say. It's sad that it's come to this. Of course it is sad. But this is your country. And this is why I'm continuing to report on this. And we have a right to report on this. Doxing is something very different. Now, somebody has shared with me the name of an individual whom they believe to be one of the shooters. I'm not putting that up because potentially that could be construed as doxing. I am going to find out first whether or not this is an individual who is involved. Then I think you can put somebody's name up, but I'm not going to put any personal addresses or tell people to harass them. But I think if they want immortality for what they did, well, that's one way of doing it. But I'm not doing that without verifying first. And I'm not going to be doxing. And I'm not going to be encouraging people to harass this individual, as tempting as that might be for a lot of folks, because these people went way over the boundaries, way over the line, beyond the pale. But I'll leave that to you, and to keep the tips coming, people. I will follow them up. I do read your email. Sometimes I respond. Somebody asked me for a specific image this morning, and I found it and sent it right away. And I appreciate the fact you're watching the episodes that closely. I think we have to keep doing everything we can. Now, I wrote an update on this story for Blaze Media, which will be out today. I'm also writing a second article for the Post Millennial. Encourage you to read that as soon as I'll be sharing that on my X as soon as it's up. And hope to get some comment from Katie about where she wants to go from here, because we talked about that quite extensively, as I said, during this whole hellish operation when she was enduring hell on earth every day, and it literally became a literal hell on the last day with this horrible massacre, with animals suffering all night long, animals being put out of their misery in the morning. And see if I had the nerve to suggest this was the most humane method of doing it. Most humane and appropriate method. These guys are just beyond belief. And the lies they tell, as Katie says, CFIA is good at two things: lying and killing. And I'm going to show you a part of an interview Katie did, I think it was on the Saturday, in the aftermath of this horrendous killing on the farm. Ezra Levant, who I have praised consistently for devoting the resources of Rebel News to this story as consistently and as comprehensively as he did. Ezra flew out to the farm on the weekend to talk to talk to Katie and Karen Esperson. And I'm not going to show the part of the interview at the kitchen table. It's so painful. I encourage you to watch it. I'm not going to show it right now, but I find Katie's remarks to Ezra to be well worth watching here. So let's have a look at this.
Katie, you're the farmer who owns and runs this
family. Yeah. Our family. It's been in our family for 35 years. We hatched most of those babies out there. They trusted us.
How old are those birds?
35, a lot of 35, a lot in their 20s.
I didn't know ostriches lived that long.
Yeah, they live till 60 to 70 years old.
So you would know those individual birds?
Oh, we knew them.
You named them?
We named them. We loved them. And their lives were murdered. They were murdered a couple nights ago in the middle of the night by cowards, professional.
Why at night?
Because they're hiding. They hid. They've been hiding since day one when they got here. Canadian Food Inspection Agency has never come to the front line.
I understand that they've never even met you, never even spoken to you on the phone, they don't even sign emails to you.
Nope, no signed emails, no phone calls, nothing. They hide behind the RCMP. They've cut off all of our security cameras. They hid in the back. They actually did a tactic. They went out there when they took over and they started screaming, emergency, emergency. Got everybody panicked here just to see if there was anyone that they had to scare out of our pens.
Oh my God.
And then ever since day one, they've hidden in the back in their motorhomes. When they first set up camp, they took their motorhomes and they put their motorhomes on the hottest part of the zone, right over where we were disposing of the most virulent threat animals. And they parked their motorhomes on top. But because they were being watched and then everybody was doing their individual reporting, they moved their motorhome pretty quick.
The whole thing was public health theater, wasn't it?
This is a theatrical display of punishment.
That's right. I mean, even the shooting, the way they shot them at night with the searchlights, it seems like it was a shock and awe tactic.
Yeah. There's no coming back from this. Canadian Food Inspection Agency there's no coming back from this. The world watched and they listened to those pops go all through the night. The heavens opened up and it poured rain. It just poured rain on these animals that were down there. They thought when they should have been resting, they were late. They were probably running for their lives, tripping over each other's bodies, frantically in fear and in panic. And all you heard was it sounded they brought war to our farm. They brought a war.
What were the police doing during this time?
All watching right here, making sure no one was going to go back, securing the area to allow these cowards to kill innocent animals that had so much life left to live. Do you know when they were herding those our ostriches into their kill pen, we had roosters dancing?
What does that mean?
They were twirling and dancing, which means that they were happy. They were happy.
Because they had no idea what was happening.
They had no idea what they were getting pushed in for, what that was going to mean. They thought probably, oh, maybe we're going to get actual food because they weren't getting food. Maybe they were going to get water because they were getting starved water from the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. This has been nothing but displays of the biggest display of animal cruelty, neglect, of this is punishment. This is punishment versus justice for exposing the Canadian Food Inspection Agencies and all of their deficiencies, inabilities to follow their own protocols and their mandates. They cherry pick, they move the goalposts, they constantly make up new rules and laws, and they get to do whatever they want.
Now, I understand, I haven't read it lately, but the court order that allowed them to seize all this territory required them to have a veterinarian on site. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And that vet really sucked because obviously we had the death of spirit. We had hens that could barely walk with limps. There was no communication with what they were doing with those hens.
Did the veterinarian even talk to you?
No.
So you're the farmer, you know these animals for 35 years, and the veterinarian wouldn't even talk to you?
Didn't even talk to us, no.
Now,
you think there was a vet? You think that there was a vet there that night?
Well, that's my question.
Bullets, that gunfire rang out. Where was the vet?
I was just reading about the CFIA's own manual about killing birds requires anesthetic or sedation, rather, not sedation or tranquilization, to deal with the pain, because they were shooting them. I am skeptical that there was a veterinarian on location. Do you know?
No, we don't know. And I'm skeptical too. And you want to know what, though? They're going to lie. They'll say there is. They'll say there was one. They'll lie. This is what they do the best. Canadian Food Inspection Agency, they kill and they lie. That is what they're the best at, is killing and lying.
And I believe that 100%. What gets me and what actually pains me, even if it doesn't show, is that the cops are going along with all this.
Yes, it is. Everybody keeps saying, we said to them, who do you call when you're watching animal cruelty? Who do you call when you're watching your animals being neglected right in front of your eyes and you're watching it too? Usually you would call 911 if you're watching a display of the cruelty. But they're all here. So who do you call? This has been, if this doesn't wake up Canada, I don't know what will, because hundreds of innocent animals were destroyed in a place that they thought was safe. And by hands, they trusted these people. They trusted them because they were domesticated animals that 35 years that had love and life and names, and then pops and gunfire rang out on our farm like war in the middle of the night. November 6th, November 7th are going to be days when I believe the world wakes up.
Excellent. You can watch the entire interview on Rebel News. It's on YouTube. And once again, I thank Ezra Levant for the work he put into this, because few other media outlets did that kind of job. Rebel was there from day one, and they were there until the very end, and they remain reporting on this, just as I have, just as Viva Fry did, just as Redacted did, and others who wanted this story to be revealed. Unfortunately, for everyone who wanted, there were 3 who refused to report on the story, and they were cowardly. And that's very unfortunate. Here's something you might find interesting. This is a disposal at sea permit. The federal government, this is how you do it. So if, it's a big if the federal government, the CFIA, is going to dispose of these ostrich carcasses by dumping them in the ocean, they can legally do it with a disposal at sea permit. You know what I'd like to see? How they describe the material. Will they say it's infected or was infected with avian influenza, or will they say it's free of avian influenza? It's not. It's not toxic. Will they say that? Of course, we'll never see that form. Maybe an access to information request about that. But here we go. They can do that. I'll show you again, because I'm encouraging all of you. Get this information out. Thank the good people who did it. There it is, Surrey, right near the water. Interesting, eh? It's literally almost a stone's throw away from the water. Incredible. And there's that disposal at sea permit. And there's the map. And there's the truck. That's the truck. That was at Universal Ostrich Farms so many times during the occupation of this farm by the CFIA. Now, I've got one final video to show you. Producer, can you put that on, please?
How's that technique anyway?
That looked all right. You look like you're doing all right. I'm not sure about the whole virus side of things. The whole virus side of things. You brought it straight out of the hot zone. The so-called hot zone.
No, it's just the hay that was behind it. Trust me, I asked.
So why are those hay bales all knocked over at the back there?
I'm not sure what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, these rookies still doing that. Is that good? Might need to throw some back down.
You guys got a couple extra hazmat suits for these guys?
Unbelievable, eh?
Well, I guess it worked out going for a drive. There we go, team player, get in there with your hands.
Now we're going to have a look at some comments, but people have already said, what the hell are the RCMP shoveling SHIT like this for? What is going on? It's incredible. Thank you for bringing awareness to this. This was such blatant cruelty to animals and to the family farmers who raised them. Yeah, it was. JM Unleashed. Thank you for your gift of $5. We're going to keep reporting on this as long as we have to and need to. But a lot of you are saying, why? What is the RCMP doing farm labor for the CFIA for? And this has been what they have done from day one on that farm. They have covered the ass of the CFIA. And Katie asked a very good question there in that interview with Ezra. Yeah. Depravity legalized. depravity legalized. El Kati. And Katie asked a very good question in that interview. What do you do when somebody is invading your house, demonstrating cruelty to your animals? Well, you're supposed to call the cops, but the cops are sitting in your front yard doing nothing. That was the frustration. They should have to clean up and remove every piece of hay they brought to that farm. Well, yeah, they don't give a damn. Pauline Seneschal. If it was that contaminated, they would not be allowed to dispose of it that way. Oh, because poor owner of that land, it will take years to go away. The land is ruined where they put this. These cops weren't even using gloves. No PPE, no protective wear, just bare hands. So did they ever take this seriously? No, the cops never wore any protective wear through the whole occupation. Yep, and Karen Emsley. Yep, that's what it's all about. Bill Gates buying up the farm, and looks to me they are steady in BC doing crap like this. They sure are. Tamitha Millette resolved to resist. Thank you, Tamitha. Thank you. Squirrel Nuts CA. I missed my plane, the Cop 30. Laugh out loud. Thank you. $27.99 Canadian. Mom, thank you so much for that gift. Thank you for all you're doing. This has crushed me. It's crushed me too. It has absolutely crushed me. I always tell you, I'm a guy who served in the Canadian Armed Forces as an Air Force officer. I was proud of my country. I wanted to serve my country. I don't know if I have a country anymore. That's how I feel. Peggy Jacqueline. Now the CFIA is culling animals at an animal sanctuary. These are resource animals. Yes, Peggy, they are. Like Katie said, the only thing the CFI is good at is lying and killing. They do that very well. Anything else, their incompetency level is beyond anything I've seen in a federal or provincial or municipal government department. They've got about the expertise of a small town's public works. And I think the small town public works does the job better. Jennifer Jupiter, wonder if any of the Trudeau dynasty has shares in this disposal company. Yeah, I wonder too. Binks, Weebelf. Those cops are now compromised and have moral injuries, desensitization. You bet. Tyler Fearless OG, our military has no ammunition. They gave it to Ukraine and did not even have any ammunition to practice with the new military recruits. Military is a joke. You can basically grow your hair as long as you want to. Wear, you don't even have to wear a uniform anymore. Mary Wall, what happened at the ostrich farm is horrible. You think that this is the end of it? Far from it, or farm from it. Man, I don't know if you meant it both ways. But where are the people for the slaughter of kids? Yeah. Could happen next. You bet. Hiker X. Nadine, they are martyrs for the awakening and exposing of the satanic dictatorship that rules. Very, very interesting. Thank you for all of your comments today. We'll be back again, of course, tomorrow. And I'm going to be talking to our source on the farm, hopefully Katie as well, but our source on the farm, who has been providing me with a lot of up-to-date, crucial information over the last week or two. And I appreciate all of you who watched today and who are continuing to have concern for what's going on here. This ain't over because we're fighting back. And you're fighting back, and we're all going to fight back. So thank you for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow. Thank you for sharing this station with your friends and family. Thank you for hitting that like button, because I tell you, We are fighting back in a way I've never had to before, because I'm going to keep this station on the air. I am going to keep fighting for freedom. I'm going to keep fighting for justice and truth. And I am damn determined to resist this Carney government in any way possible as it encroaches upon our individual freedom. And it will continue to do that, mark my words. I'll be back again tomorrow. Same time, same place. 10 a.m. This has been David Krayden, broadcasting live from our nation's capital in Ottawa. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow.